So for the width and height, you want to be on the same units essentially, but we're going to be working with pixels because it's the easiest. I mean, I don't really work with centimeters or millimeters, inches on the computer. It just doesn't make sense for me. But I mean, I guess it matters on what you're doing. But for me, pixels. For now, we're going to work with pixels for both width and height. And yeah, I was going to say for me it's just the easiest because everything is in pixels on the computer. So yeah, so just select everything here. It doesn't really matter what you do for the bit depth. I'm just going to go 16-bit, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's press continue, or okay, and then we continue to the screen, which gives us by default we're just going to have a blank white square. So this is, as you guys can see, right here to the right, this is basically like the layers tab. This shows us all the layers, all the elements, everything that is included in the project. So all we have now, this is basically like a very blank project. All we have is this background white box sort of thing. So to first get started, and we're just going to unlock this layer because by default when you make a new project, the first layer is locked. So we don't really have a lot of freedom to do like move it around and stuff. So what we're going to do is actually double click on this locked icon, or this lock icon, and then when we do that, as you guys can see, we have this like layer option. So let's name it background. So let's name it background, and then we can keep the color, we can do it none, and then it'll basically be the default color, or we can choose whatever we want, and that'll essentially just make the color of the not essentially the box, but that's like the color here. Let me do that. Let's select a color. This is actually very good for organizing, and we're gonna go over that later. So let's, as you guys can see, the red color that we selected is sort of kind of like marks it with that little red color. So later on, while you're working, you can always assign layers different colors, and with that, you can kind of organize your project. But that's not very important for now. We're just gonna learn the interface for now. So as you guys can see, we have a white background here. So the first thing we're actually gonna do is learn the move tool. So the first tool that we are actually offered in this column to the left is this move tool. So we're gonna select, make sure that you go to the right in this layers tab and select our one and only layer in this project, and then we're gonna select the move tool, and then we can, as you guys can see, we can move the box around. And what you see in this background, if you see this like sort of checkered background, that basically means it's transparent, because if you render out this picture right now, it's basically going to be transparent. So all you'd see is this box and then nothing else. This background is transparent. So what we're going to actually do is undo that. So you can undo move, and then let's say you do a couple actions. The best way to undo stuff is to actually go Control Alt Z, because that is the ultimately, like, you can only undo once. See, as you guys can see, I undid all the way back to creating the background. So let's actually read step forward. So if I do Control Z, wait, hold on, step forward. Let's add like just for the tutorial's sake, let's just do like scribbles, something like that. So let's say I did Control Z once, and then I did it again. As you guys can see, it just redid that. So the way we go step backwards, if we want to keep on undoing more than once, is Control Alt Z, or we can go edit and then step backward. That's a very important tool you guys must know in the future. Anyways, so now let's add a shape to this project. As you guys can see, that is like, we learned like to use the move tool, which is, it's quite straightforward. And then we're gonna learn to do more stuff like rotating. So the first thing we're actually gonna do now to learn that is actually go down to this tool right. As you guys can see, it's like a little squiggly sort of shape. So we're gonna right click on that and actually select the rectangle tool. So as you guys can see, we kind of have this little